action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNINews video. And as always, well, we've got a lot to cover, so let's jump right into it, and let's start off with a little bit of Star Wars news. So first of all, recapping a story I talked about previously, there is a new Star Wars Black Series Gaming Greats figure that is coming to GameStop stores. It is the Jedi Fallen Order Biker Scout. I talked about this in a previous video. That figure is now up for pre-order on the GameStop website. We have new official images for the figure as well. And GameStop is currently listing the figure with an October 28th release date. And I wouldn't be surprised if that figure starts showing up sooner in physical stores. It also should be available at EB Games in Canada. But if you want to just pre-order it, make sure you get it. Again, it is available on the GameStop website now. And then early this morning, we got a bit of a surprise from Diamond Select Toys. Well, not directly from Diamond, but a product that looks like they're going to be releasing. There's not actually been an official announcement for this, but you can see this image here, which comes via Star Wars Action News. I don't know if they actually took this image, but they're the ones that I believe were the first to post it online. And it is of a select 7-inch scale Boba Fett figure. So they're expanding their select line, which I'm sure if you collect Marvel figures you're familiar with. They also do some other properties for 7-inch scale select figures. But they're expanding out, it looks like, into Star Wars. So, you know, they're going to be taller than a Hasbro Black Series figure or an SH Figure Arts or what have you. But I don't know the exact dimensions on this figure. I did see an image that was floating around where somebody was holding up a ruler or a tape ruler to the figure, but it didn't really look like they were lining it up very well. So again, I definitely suspect this will be taller than a 6-inch Black Series figure of like Boba Fett, because really Diamond Select Toys, just like with the Marvel, they can't do 6-inch figures because it would put them in conflict with companies like Hasbro. But with this figure, it looks like it's going to be a Disney Store exclusive, which means this was found at a Disney hotel, this particular figure, but it should be available at all Disney stores as well as the Shop Disney website. Now, I don't have a specific price, but indications are this is going to cost in the neighborhood of $30, between $30 and $35. The Disney Store exclusive Marvel figures are running around $35, I believe, but indications are this one's going to be about $30. Now, again, it should be available at some point online. It's not currently, and Diamond Select Toys at this point hasn't even officially announced it. I believe these Star Wars Select figures are only going to be sold at Disney stores, unlike the Marvel figures where you have some that are Disney Store exclusives and then others that are just offered at comic and specialty shops. From what I've seen, indications would suggest that these will only be available at Disney Store. Now, there should be more figures coming. It's not just going to be Boba Fett. They might be, I think, tying this in with the Mandalorian, so probably you're going to see Mandalorian-type characters, maybe the Mandalorian himself. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the next one that they do in this line. But like I said, if you're into like the Marvel Select figures, then you know what to expect with these, and you know, articulation generally isn't quite as good as a Marvel Legend or Black Series figure, but it's generally not too bad. And you can see with this figure from this image, it's going to have a jetpack. I don't know if that's removable or not. I would guess it probably is, but I can't say for sure. But you can see there are some blast effects for the jetpack. There is the rifle, which has a blast effect, so it looks like it's shooting. It has alternate hands. And then there's also a flame effect, which I believe will plug into his flamethrower wrist gauntlet. For you Storm Collectible fans, this weekend we got a look at one of the upcoming Dark Stalker figures for their 1/12 scale line, the Dimitri Maximoff figure. So this one had been announced. I believe this is our first real look at the figure. Maybe we saw it at some of the previous conventions. I don't remember for sure. But this is definitely an updated look. This figure was on display at this weekend's Winter Festival in Shanghai. These images come via Winter Storm Toys. They also gave us a good look at the Samurai Showdown Bloody variant figure that I talked about in the last news video. And that figure, even though it was said to be limited to 300, is actually now available for pre-order here in the United States at places like our sponsor Big Bad Toy Store. So if you do want to get the Bloody variant one, last time I checked it was still available. Speaking of Winter Festival, we got another surprise for G.I. Joe fans. This figure was on display at Winter Festival at the Threezero booth. These images come via Exclusive Magazine. I don't know if they took these images themselves, but they are the ones that had them posted on their website. And again, this figure was definitely on display at Threezero. I don't know if this is supposed to be based on anything in particular. I've seen some people speculating this might be the new movie design for the Snake Eyes movie. I don't know. I can't say one way or the other. I mean, Snake Eyes, is Snake Eyes to me. So while it looks a little bit different, I don't see anything wildly different here. I mean, I think the figure looks good. This version has the visor. He's got 2 swords. He's got a bunch of smoke canisters on his belt. So definitely an interesting look. I have no pricing information on this figure, though Threezero figures are generally not cheap, so I wouldn't expect this to be too cheap. Places, once there's an official announcement on the figure, I'm sure it will be available at places like our sponsor, Big Bad Toy Store. They're not the first people to do 12-inch G.I. Joe figures. Sideshow did an actual full line of G.I. Joe figures several years ago. I think Hot Toys actually did a Snake Eyes figure as well, if I remember correctly. So we've seen a couple different companies over the years do 12-inch G.I. Joe figures, highly detailed G.I. Joe figures. So it'll be interesting to see. Overall, people seem to be pretty impressed with this figure. But I'm curious to know how many people will actually end up buying it. So let me know in the comment section below. Are you into 12-inch figures? Is this something that interests you? Do you think you'll end up picking it up? Okay, now finally for some Marvel Legend news for you guys. So first of all, I just want to update you. This weekend, Target started officially selling their Target exclusive Storm and Thunderbird 2-pack. Now, I went to my local Target. The official sale date was this past Sunday. I went Sunday morning. I didn't find anything. Pop Finder told me there was supposed to be 4 there in stock, but then when I got there, there was nothing there, and the employees told me they had nothing, so I don't know, and I was there when the store opened, so I don't know what happened there. It wasn't, I'm okay waiting on this 2-pack. My guess is it will be available again on the website, and it actually went up for purchase late Saturday night, early Sunday morning on their website, but quickly sold out. But, I have little doubt that eventually I'll be able to get this set. But really, what the news I wanted to share with you is that I'm told on the 14th/15th, 15th I think is the official sale date, but you might start seeing these pop up on shelves on end caps on the 14th. But that is the date. Their plan is, from what I'm told, they're going to do an end cap of Marvel Legend X-Men figures, which will include more orders of those 2-packs with the Storm and Thunderbird, but also is when we'll see officially the release of the Retro, Rogue, and Gambit figures that were announced during PulseCon. So, we might see them show up sooner. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't. But it looks like this month, the 14th/15th, is when the official sale date for those 2 figures, and then Target should be getting more of the Storm and Thunderbird 2-pack then as well. And look for them to be on an end cap type display at most stores. And then finally, for today's first Monday of the month reveal from Hasbro, they showed us their new retro Black Cat figure, which we knew was coming, or had a pretty good indication was coming. Now this figure is, again, it's featured on the Retro Spider-Man card back, but looks like is primarily just a reissue of the original Black Cat figure. There are some modifications to it. Oops, my head just fell off there, which is a common problem with this original figure. But the new one does look like has a new head sculpt to it, and it looks like they've redone the upper torso of the figure. They've removed the fur on the collar, and she's showing less cleavage. Now, I think the bust size, I think it's the same mold as the previous one. They just painted it so her zipper wasn't pulled down as much and she was showing as much cleavage. And then, again, they removed the fur collar. And then also they took off the heels, which is a good thing because this figure doesn't stand worth a crap with the heels. So she's got the flat feet, which is nice. And I do think the head sculpt on this new figure is a little bit better than this previous one. So if you don't have this figure, I think this new one is definitely worth getting. Otherwise, unless you're like really, into collecting the vintage card backs, the retro card backs, I'm not sure there's enough here to warrant getting it again. She does come with her whip, and then they've also thrown in that cat from the MCU Captain Marvel line, which they've repainted black, so you get that extra as well. But again, if you already have this original figure, there are differences, but I'm not personally, and this is just my own opinion, I'm not seeing enough there warrant getting it again. But if you don't have this one, I think this new one is probably the best Black Cat overall that we've gotten in the line. Definitely better than the last one they released, the more modern looking one. So if you don't have this one, definitely I think it's worth getting. But otherwise, I mean, for me, I'm probably going to pass on it. But like I said, that's just my opinion. But it is up for pre-order now. You can get it at places like our sponsor, Big Bad Toy Store, and should be out at the end of this year or early next year. Okay, so that's it for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I talked about in the comments section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. Stay safe out there, guys, and until next time, I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.